Hello and welcome back everybody to the second game of Gigabyte Mineski versus First Departure in a two-game series. It's of course the Joint League Season 3, the Asian Division 1 as well. And man, game number 1, First Departure, they went for a really unconventional lineup, but just completely worked out for them in the end since they of course did win the game. But game number 2 will definitely be at least somewhat different. We are HeflaTV, I am Coucher and I'm joined for game number 2 by Grandis V.
Yeah, usually when you give away a lycanthrope and a tinker away to the enemy team, you don't expect to win, especially if you're losing out in the early game. But after some questionable plays coming out from Mineski, come around those mid-game team fights, First Departure were able to take a pretty early set of racks at about 30 minutes in, and then when your racks down up against a Nature's Prophet, it's pretty smooth sailing from there. They got the second lane, and it was, I don't know, a very awkward finishing towards that game. I don't think we're going to see a similar one this time, but honestly, that very aggressive pushing style with Jakiro is pretty underrated by several teams.
Yeah, it can be extremely strong, of course. I mean, Miracle, they did get a decent amount of pushing done early on, and the Jakiro wasn't shut down completely or anything of the sort by any means. Of course, didn't get the best of starts either, but it was just good enough to get by to win the game by the end, I guess.
Yeah, usually when I see that core pushing Jakiro, it's very quick into those tier 2 towers. The pushing was delayed, definitely, but I don't know. I wouldn't have expected that game to end the way it did, so I definitely recommend going ahead and giving that one a watch.
Yeah, but now we're in the draft once again. The bans are more or less the same. Lycan, of course, was taken up by First Departure since this time around Mineski would have gotten it on the Dire side. And Mineski once again just banning out the Naga side and making sure that Miracle Naga is out of the question.
Yeah, one of the signature heroes that you just don't want to give away, especially on the Radiant side to Miracle. He can just do so much with the hero, and I don't know. A lot of drafting does come down to what you're comfortable with playing, and although the rest of the heroes are pretty standard, this is going to leave a lot of heroes that we usually don't see in the first stage available for both of these teams to pick through.
So, First Departure, first pick. They're in the reserve time, actually having a hard time figuring out what they want to go for. Doombringer, of course, is available. I already saw them play it against Immunity in game number 2. Miracle, offlane Doombringer, still just getting a rather fast hand of Midas and completely snowballing with his farm, as Doombringers most often do. Or Skyriff Mage, Shadow Shaman, even a Razor and a Viper can be just possible.
Well, it is going to be the Doom first pick coming out from First Departure. No big surprises there, but Mineski, they have their choice of pretty much the cream of the crop as far as supports are concerned, as well as the Death Prophet, Tidehunter, Viper, Razor, a lot of heroes still left. Razor will be the first pick, and I assume they'll pick up, well, never mind. They go for the Death Prophet. A lot of pushing power coming out from those two, especially if you get an early Ags on the Razor.
Yeah, and actually both of those heroes, once they have their ultimates activated, if you get doomed, you won't take, or not, well, you won't take damage, what the fuck am I saying? But your ultimates will still be able to dish out the damage themselves. So, in a sense, they are two heroes that, if somebody has to get doomed, it might as well be them when they have their ultimates up. It's definitely not the most optimal thing and you want to avoid getting doomed, but if you do get doomed, you can still just get something out of it.
And also, it's a great way to deal with Doom, just having a lot of cores that you don't want to use their spells. If you Doom the Razor, then Death Prophet's going to have more or less free reign in the team fights, depending on what the other heroes are picked up on First Departure. But yeah, I think it's a pretty solid way to go drafting about a Doom. If you have to play up against it, pick cores that don't care about it, and pick a lot of them.
First Departure, once again, just completely digging into the reserve time with their secondary pick this time around. I mean, Skyriff Mage, Shadow Shaman probably would be the most common of picks. Unless they want to go for some core straight out the bat. I mean, nothing really just comes to mind completely that... I mean, Razor and Death Prophet are just two extremely strong heroes to begin with, but they go for an Earthshaker.
Yeah, Earthshaker, really solid support. He can play very defensively and help your farming core, or you can roam around depending on what the support that you pair him with is going to be. I expect Shadow Shaman as well as Skyriff Mage to be banned out, although those would be your ideal candidates for roaming with the Earthshaker.
Yeah, they usually are used like that. And First Departure themselves, banning out the Shadow Shaman, it doesn't really surprise me all too much, to be honest. Mineski, they are the ones having the first pick in the secondary phase here, as well as if they got some more push going, they could just kind of snowball themselves this game around. And of course on the Dire, side, Exorcism plus Mass Serpent Wards equals early Roshan.
Yeah, the other bands coming out, Ancient Apparition taken out by Mineski, as well as Clockwork banned out by First Departure. It's kind of interesting to see Clockwork banned out. It's good against Earthshaker in a vacuum, but that is going to force Mineski to ban out the Tinker, because that's probably what they were setting up for, to be honest, with that Clockwork ban. Other split pushers are still going to be available if they want to go for it, potentially the Nature's Prophet, although that would bump the Doom in towards mid or safe lane.
Well, it's in their option if they want to go for it at the moment though. Skywrath Mage was picked up from Mineski. So far they have pretty much zero setup, unless the concussive shot itself counts as one for the Mystic Flare, to be honest. So they still have 2 picks to go for any kind of setup really, which they most likely will at least some stun. Brave King could be one option for them, as Dazzle is the pick for First Departure. And to be honest, I think that there's a slight chance that we might see a carry Earthshaker even in this game.
I would love to see it. Seeing an Earthshaker that gets a really fast Blink Dagger and then fingers crossed goes into a crit is a lot of fun to watch, especially up against like a Death Prophet and Skywrath Mage. You can burst down those heroes very effectively. You start out with the Enchant Totem before blinking in, then blink, fissure, hit them with the Enchant Totem, enchant again, and then hit them again. That's going to drop pretty much any hero on the side of Mineski if we actually do get to see the farm, given the way of the Earthshaker. I'd love to see it. But yeah, if they do want to pick up more, setup for the Skywrath Mage Ultimate, they could build an Atos on their Death Prophet, which I think would be pretty solid, but yeah, as it stands, they don't have that amount of set, but that will come out from the Centaur Warner. A Blink Hoof Stomp into Skywrath Mage ulti is a devastating ganking combo if they're able to pull it off.
If they are indeed. And not only that, just even Ancient Seal into Crypt Swarm and Plasma Field on top of that. But First Departure, they whip out the Omni Knight again. Last time I saw them do it, they ran it in the mid lane. Actually to a pretty moderate amount of success as well. It was up against the Death Prophet, and the Omni Knight, pretty much throughout the entire laning phase, was only about like 5 last hits behind the Death Prophet. So he just used actually the Purification to farm. He ran in Purification and just backed out again, more or less. And actually a Meepo ban.
I would have loved to see the Meepo. They have tools that are pretty good about dealing with Meepo, in particular Skywrath Mage and Centaur Warner. At isolating a single Meepo with the Ancient Seal amplification, it will be really easy to bring him down. With an Omni Knight backing up as well as a Dazzle, I could definitely see a Meepo pick working out, although they have heroes that are good against him. Meepo is not particularly good in any draft, but if this was going to be the draft, I could definitely see it. I don't know, it is definitely not the first thing that comes to mind, but when you have an Omni Knight Dazzle as your supporting duo, there's a lot of ways to keep that Meepo alive.
Yeah, there is indeed. As Mineski, they go for a Rubik last pick. Just actually has a lot of good spells to steal at the moment. Earthshaker Fisher just getting it without the cast time. Doombringer's ultimate. And just even Omni Knight having a Repel, Guardian Angel, or Purification, all of them can be put to great use.
Definitely. I'm interested to see what they go with to pair with this Omni Knight. Omni Knight I definitely like seeing in the off lane or in the mid. I think we'll be seeing the mid Omni Knight because, I don't know, Skywrath Mage, Rubik, +1, whether that +1's a Razor or a Death Prophet, definitely could kill the Omni Knight, and he'll probably have to rely on Purification if he wants to go up for the levels that he'll need in the off lane. But yeah, as a support, his lightning phase is just a little too weak and can't do much, but it's going to be an OD for First Departure, a hero that we haven't seen a lot as of late.
Yeah, and actually, seeing that KS picks up the Omni Knight, their mid lane player, and Miracle going for the OD, I guess it is going to be the good old boring Earthshaker support, I guess. But OD, Omni Knight, and actually maybe Dazzle even, they can just keep on spamming with Miracle being there with his Essence Aura, the passive. So,
yeah, a lot of sustain coming out through the pushes. Although they don't have the best pushing heroes, they definitely have enough spam as well as the ability to stay the pushes in order to get them going. I don't know, they're up against a Death Prophet though, so I'm not sure if they're going to be able to out-push Mineski by any stretch of the imagination. A very hard draft to analyze coming out from First Departure. I hope it works out, and I'm interested to see how they pull off this Omni Knight Outworld Devourer.
yeah, the one thing I like about them is that with the Dazzle Weave as well as the Omni Knight Guardian Angel, they actually have a lot to just mitigate the damage output of a Death Prophet. The Exorcism is physical damage after all. Even the Eye of the Storm from the Razor and just Razor's right clicks. So if they can weather the storm of the Mystic Flare as well as the Hoofstomp Double Edge, they might be able to just overrun the fights kind of. But we will see, man. Just once again, First Departure, they are definitely not afraid to just draft out of the box, even though we haven't had any major patches or anything.
Yeah, and I absolutely love it. We're gonna start out with a pause, but that should give us some time to introduce the teams.
Yeah, it's your pick. You choose.
Excellent. Well, since they have all of their players already in the game, I'll go ahead and introduce the side of Mineski with Jacko playing on the Death Prophet, Jesse Vash on the Rubik. We are going now Play Hard playing on the Skywrath Mage. I believe that's Oa on the Centaur Warrunner, and I can't for the life of me remember the fifth player
Chauvin.
on Mineski. Jovan playing on the Razor.
And for first departure, KS will be playing most likely the mid lane Omni Knight with Miracle, safe lane OD, maybe aggressive tri lane, but I would bet on safe lane rather. With Lobby on the Dazzle, Dafa to play the Doombringer, and the last one will be Kai up on Earthshaker.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty hard to analyze how these lanes are going to end up going. Death Prophet versus Omni Knight. Death Prophet's going to be favored in that matchup, although Omni Knight definitely can push it out with Purification. So he shouldn't do that poorly, although Jacko should not be pressured very much at all, especially with the supporting heroes coming out from the Dazzle and the Earthshaker. If they get a good Fisher block, maybe they'll be able to kill her, but I don't see Jacko really falling in the early game.
Yeah, it probably shouldn't happen, unless there are some just crazy rotations coming out, Fisher blocks and whatnot. So, game still paused. No reason was actually given to it as well, just the customary start of the game pause, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. Let's see.
Which
Solo
lineup do
offlane-
you actually prefer here?
Honestly, Mineski. I think it's just more stable all around. They have good tools in order to get their fights going. With the Centaur Blink Dagger, they have some pretty solid single target initiation. There's good spells to steal for the Rubik. Skywrath Mage Rubik in the early game can zone out the offlaner pretty effectively. I don't know, Doom might be accompanied by a Dazzle if they are going to go for those dual lane setups, which is not out of the question for first departure, but even then, I think Mineski just have the more solid lanes and the easier path to victory. I don't know. I'm hoping to be surprised coming out from first departure's lineup, but it just feels like it's a little weaker.
Yeah, I have to agree with you that there's an easier way to victory for Mineski. It's easier to execute. It's been tested and tried, the kind of lineup that they have pretty much. Especially if the Death Prophet gets off to a good enough start. And like you said, Chaco, he really shouldn't fall in the mid lane unless there's something crazy coming out from first departure. And admin also just has to ask a question. Oh, he went to the toilet. So, I mean, you can only be for so long in the toilet.
I suppose so. I don't know. It seems like they've been playing for quite a bit before this, so, I mean, sometimes it just has to happen. Although, at a very awkward time, I think we might have been able to wait in the lobby for this.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you there. Or I'm not too sure how much input any single player has as far as the draft goes. For some teams, it's like the drafter only makes all the calls. For some teams, it's just an actual team discussion. All of the players are taking part of it. So don't know how it was with that. And I guess since he didn't go to the toilet during the draft, he must have had some part to play in there.
I suppose so.
So, man, this if it's paused so early, there's literally nothing to talk about, man. Nobody has even picked up any items. I guess we don't really have to guess who's going to be playing in the core roles anyway. Nothing crazy coming out by them like mid lane Skywrath Mage or something. So, okay, let's predict first blood, the lane, and who's going to get it.
First blood prediction. Let's see. Huh. I don't think it's going to be up top. I think Doom's going to be playing defensively enough, but if he oversteps his bounds, there is some killing potential there. I think the first blood's going to happen wherever first departure roam this Dazzle and Earthshaker to start off. I'm going to assume bottom lane is going to be our first kill on the Centaur Warrunner.
Okay, so I'm just going to say Doombringer then.
Okay.
I'm going to say the opposite offlaner. Man, I just have a feeling that we're both going to be wrong, just mid lane goes down to either one.
I mean, if the Dazzle and Earthshaker show their face in mid lane, get a good block off on the Death Prophet, it's definitely a possibility. I think it'll depend on whether or not they get a good early rune for that rotation. But if we have like a haste picked up by the Dazzle or Earthshaker, or maybe even an Invis rune to get like a perfect block, I don't know. We could both be wrong, for sure.
And how long can he deal with his business?
It's the question that's on everybody's minds right now.
Well, okay, so Next predictions coming out. What item is Omni Knight gonna go for as the first big item after boots?
Let's see. Mechanism? I don't think they'll build it on the Doom. But if they build a mech on the Doom, I think we'll see a Force Staff coming out from Omni Knight.
I guess that's possible. Last game I do believe he went for just straight Arcane Boots into Aghanim Scepter. I'm not 100% certain about this fact. Might have gone for the mech in between, which definitely isn't a bad choice. Every now and then OD is played as well, but I guess Miracle most likely will go for a Hand of Midas if he's in a safe lane farming role.
Yeah. I don't know. Aghanim Scepter is really solid on Omni Knight if you can get that amount of farm. I think it depends on how well his laning stage goes. If it's...
Well, they definitely leave mech on somebody, that's for sure.
Yeah. And if Dafa is going to build that one, it will leave Omni Knight open for his build choice. Whether he goes for a little bit more utility items and like a Force Staff or a Blink in order to get better positioning for his Guardian Angel, I think he'll go for that item if he's not having a good time in lane. And if he's having a really good time, I think we'll just see the straight of Aghanim's Rush.
I actually wouldn't mind a Force Staff on him at the moment. Just to get people out of the Mystic Flares. They get hoof stomped and you just Force Staff them out once the Mystic Flare is there. Something like that. And of course Force Staff always nice for the clutch escapes as well, to the from low ground to high ground or vice versa.
Yeah, as well as just getting into the middle of fight to get Purification off, as well as your Guardian Angel at a good position, because before Aghanim's ultimate, he does have to have people inside that AoE.
Oh man, this pause, I have no idea how long it's gone on already, but it feels like it's been forever.
I mean, after like a pretty exciting game in game one, and then just having all of the action drop out from under you, it really slows down the pace. There's not anything to talk about, at least Dota related anymore. I mean, we could probably devolve to cosmetics, but other than that, I'm not sure. We've made pretty much all the predictions we can as far as lanes are concerned. First blood, item build on Omni Knight. I mean, what else can you do?
Have you seen any massive games recently? I guess last biggest game that was kind of hyped was IG versus VG. Both of them having rather new lineups, or at least two. I think both of them actually had two people or players just rosters switched. And IG kind of stomped VG. I was surprised, to be honest. I thought like VG is stronger or should be stronger, but man, was I wrong.
Apparently in that series, it's kind of hard to evaluate how the teams are actually going to do. Maybe they're just not fully comfortable with each other, but yeah. We are going to have Kai back into the game. Our shaker loads.
Thank baby Jesus, we are finally actually starting the game. We can finally see what lanes we're gonna have. Most likely will be just... Actually, the smoke comes up from Mineski straight away. Jacko even went for one crisp farm. He's like, oh crap, you're already running? I got to get my mana back, man.
Yep, well, he is going to go towards the safe lane while the rest of his team is rotating. I don't know, it might be important, but I think more than anything, this rotation is just going to secure control over the enemy jungle. If they catch out a single target, I don't think the Death Prophet being there for the Crypt Swarm or not is going to make a difference.
Yeah, and actually smoke, it's going to wear out soon enough already. Don't think they can catch anybody off guard. The Trident is coming in from first departure, but with a nice clutch, Astral Imprisonment save, they might be able to just save everybody, or a nice Fisher block. Although the angling, is it correct? Do they have vision of them? I think they saw them. The dark side definitely saw the radiant ones.
Yeah, and now they drop the wards, they tango through one of the trees, and I don't think anybody's going to get caught out. I don't know, Miracle should be fine. He has a defensive Astral even if they do go onto him, although that would probably do more harm than good if he drops it too early. Oh, they're going to go with the concussive shot to start us off. Jesse Vash try and get in range for a telekinesis with a nice Fisher block. I don't think it's going to happen, and Miracle is just fine.
Yeah, they just, first departure, they were so confident in their ability to avoid any kind of incoming gank there. Or at least sure felt like it at the moment. And the Fisher, such a great ability. Mineski though, they get the clarity out of the Earthshaker, so I guess they'll be happy enough with what happened. It's not like they're missing any farm time or anything like that. Although, the mid lane block from Joven is non-existent now, although he gets a double damage as well, so might make up for it.
Yeah, so I think the mid lane's just wash. It's more or less just a smoke for clarity at the end of all of that early action. They also do block off a lot of the camps and get some good deep vision inside the Radiant jungle, although the support rotations will be more or less unseen as they only have this observer ward over by the bottom rune spot.
Oh man, jDL3 play hard. They want to get the kill on Miracle so damn bad, or if not Miracle, a support on that lane. And Miracle actually going pretty aggressive at the moment. If they had used Concussive Shot there, might have been enough for them to get in range. I'm not really too sure if they're gonna get a better option other than Miracle just running to the side shop to buy something, or the same for the Earthshaker. How long are they willing to wait there?
Well, with an Observer Ward up in top, knowing that there's no supports, I'm not sure if anybody's going to get caught out. And he has the support coming up from Lubby. Oh, Kai, though, he's going to run straight into both of these supports. They have Concussive Shot as well as Telekinesis. They don't need the Concussive Shot to start up. They lift him straight into the stomp. The Grave is going to come out, will give him a fissure, but I think the right clicks are going to be enough. Will they be able to get another kill in return? Beforehand, no. Defensive Astral is also going to delay it, but it's a very short duration one. Playhard might actually... No, it is going to be Playhard getting the first blood after... words, he will give up his own life. So, Mineski are going to come out on top slightly, although if they lose any more, it's not going to be so.
Yeah, at the very least, First Departure will actually able to do a lot of counter damage on both to the Rubik as well as the Centaur. So getting through some of the consumables, and yes, Mineski came out on top, but at the very least, First Departure, they got one in return. But this mid lane, I'm actually pretty damn happy that they sent the Razor up against an Omni Knight rather than the Death Prophet. Although Razor might have done a little bit better against the Doombringer at the same time. So, I guess it's... I mean, Razor definitely has a good time against any melee hero almost, thanks to that static link ability.
Yeah, an Omni Knight, no exception. Even if he has Purification, there's very little that he's going to be able to do up against the Omni Knight. But Doom up top, he's going to eat a lot of harass from the Arcane Bolts as well as the right clicks, and it's going to be enough. Jacko and Playhard picking up a kill with close to no lockdown.
Yeah, and well, of course, Jacko with the Crypt Forms had been toughening up the Doombringer for some time now already. And actually Doombringer, he went for an Orb of Venom as well to be able to harass a little bit more, have some kill potential with the Scorched Earth, which is actually pretty great, just chasing ability. Damage over time at the same time as well. But 2-1 Mineski, they do have the lead early on. I'm not actually 100% sure. I want to say they had it last game as well as Kai with the Invis Rune, which is about to wear out unfortunately. So Rubik is going to get scouted. The Fissure comes out as well. They get the slow from the Poison Touch. I think they actually might be able to chase him down as well. A few more right clicks as KS. He's coming in from the wrong side, but doesn't matter. He gets XP and gold for the assist anyway.
Yeah. At the worst case scenario, a Purification from the Omni Knight would have gotten that kill, and I don't know, it was just a really nice block coming out from Kai. He got him in pretty much the perfect situation. If he walked towards the supports, going that way through the fissure, he would have died, and going up the river is straight in towards mid, and gave them plenty of uptime on their auto attacks. So, yeah, Rubik just getting caught in a very awkward situation, and it'll have First Departure coming away kill richer.
Yeah, KS mid lane does have his Podle as well as his boots delivered out to him now on the Omni Knight. And just trying to farm with Purification from a distance actually at the moment, trying to heal up creeps and get the last hits that way. He is pretty far behind so far, 8-2 compared to 17-10, which is kind of to be expected in this kind of matchup.
Yeah, Omni Knight might have been able to do a little bit more, but as soon as he comes up to the creep wave, just so much damage being stolen. With 3 points up into the static link of Razor, there's very little the Omni Knight can do, except for Purification. And well, with the static link, they might be able to get this kill now. Purification will make sure that no telekinesis comes out. And in the meantime, Earthshaker gets a kill on the Centaur down in bottom.
Yeah, I mean, this was in no man's land, just completely in the enemy jungle at the moment. Although mid lane, Jay actually, or Choven rather, has to be a little bit careful. jDL3 she's hanging around as well, and they're going to find Tafa, who has a double damage rune. Actually, it might even be enough. They're going for Choven, but Static Link, you don't really want to chase him down. The damage is being stolen way too much. Already 105 points of it, and Telekinesis on to Tafa, Plasma Field as well. They actually get the kill damage over time, a few right clicks. The Purification, they just completely turned that around.
Yeah, really nice fissure coming out from the Earthshaker, and despite the Doom having no damage, they committed very hard to killing him. And Doom, with Tranquil Boots online, he's fairly tanky with 5 points up in the armor as well as some pretty decent stats to back that one up. It was enough, although I thought they would have gotten the kill on the Doom. It was a great turnaround coming out from First Departure.
Yeah, and of course the Doom's double damage. He got at least the first right click or two in before all of the damage pretty much got stolen from Choven there. Actually, Choven is diving pretty damn hard. Another 105 points of damage stolen. I mean, Omni Knight, he can do nothing but farm with only the Purification.
Yeah. The two supports are roaming towards mid lane, and they might be able to make something happen on the Omni Knight if he roams up towards the creep wave. But now, with the creeps under his tower, he'll just throw a Purification and try for that last auto attack, but the link was still active. If they get a lift onto the Omni Knight, he's pretty much dead, but I don't think it's going to happen. He has the Purification, he's going to come up, he drops the Purify onto the creeps, and then backs off. He'll get his damage stolen because of it, but no kills going to go their way.
Yeah, and bot lane Miracle of course just keeps on farming as well. Went for power threads first, so not going for the greedy Hand of Midas play at all. Might go for a later Hand of Midas for all we know, but at least not straight out for it. And they're pushing the tower as well. They do have a creep wave coming in soon enough, I want to say, but Miracle is there as is. I mean, play hard together with Ova. But never mind, the 4th hero is coming in. There comes KS. Not yet level 6 though.
An interesting rotation coming up from the Omni Knight. I would have liked to see him like sit for one more creep wave worth of experience down in bottom before rotating here. But it'll offer a decent amount of sustain in this lane. Although I think Lubby would have provided enough in order to get this tower. But I think the tier 1 tower is going to fall. Will there be a good trade on the other side of the map as Jacko gets doomed up in top and chased down with the Orb of Venom and Scorched Earth? Doffa looking for the last auto attack with 3 points in Witchcraft. It looks like Jacko is enough. Audi does get the tower and Jacko is going to be just fine. So, unfortunate that they didn't get the Death Prophet kill for first departure, but they still come away with the tier 1 tower and force DP out of lane.
Yeah, it's maybe a worthwhile trade. It's not like Doombringer died in return or something. Although, if he had 3 points into Scorched Earth and 2 into Devour instead of the other way around, that almost certainly would have been the kill on the Death Prophet there, just with the damage over time. But bottom lane, they get the slow onto Miracle. Will it be enough? Arcane Ball's flank, the Fisher is there, the slowdown over as well. Telekinesis up, Hoof Stomp to follow. Should be an easy kill, or will it be? Yes, Plasma Field comes through, and Kai now, he's the one on the run. Lobby, I'm not too sure if he can escape. TP out. Stuns? No, not gonna happen.
Yeah. That was a really good play coming up from the Skywrath Mage, silencing up the Dazzle so there was no heals going the way of the OD or Grave. So that secured them 2 kills, really. They only had the defensive Fissure to come out.
One more Creep Swarm with a right click. Actually will do the job. He misses the Creep Swarm. Doffa jukes! Scorched Earth activated, but not enough mana for a TP anymore. He has to escape, he has to juke it out, and now he's completely blocked in. Or is he gonna get past Jacko? Yes, he can somehow. Kai comes in with the Fissure. It's gonna be there. One more Creep Swarm. Can he get in range for it? No, the enchant out. Am you kidding me, Jacko? He's chasing Miracle Chant, suddenly joins the fight. Arcane Orbs, and they get the counter kill. Man, Doffa, those jukes.
In the end, not having the mana for the TP paid off for them as they were able to rotate in the supports and make that an effective bait. Yeah, just really solid coming out from Doffa. Not much more you can say. Death Prophet wanted that kill so bad she could taste it, but wasn't able to secure that one.
Yeah, mid lane, the same old goes on. Another 126 points of damage, this time stolen from Joven. Man, it must suck for KS to be there. I mean, he has 28 last hit, so not doing as bad. But definitely not as well as he did in the last time around when he played that hero. But Arcane Woods are up on Kai on the Earthshaker, so that's definitely good news for their team.
Yeah, I'll give them quite a bit of sustain, although they already have the Essence Ore coming out from the OD. It is going to be very nice in order to make sure that this Dazzle as well as Earthshaker can always have their spells available. We have an Invis coming out from K5, or KS rather, looking potentially for Jesse Vash. It looks like he might get caught out. He is slowed up, and now with the Purification just bashed to death by that hammer. Slow goes away the OD. With the Purification, they might be able to chest out, play hard, no, too fast, and no other Fissure coming out from Kai. Actually, the orbs are coming and flying out from the OD. A lot of damage being stolen, but the ultimate come out. Hammer dropped, and they'll be able to get the kill on the Skywrath Mage. Is there going to be return from the Razor? He's slowed down by the Poison Touch, and Lubby looks like he'll be just fine. And Kai has a Fissure, and will block the Razor on the right side.
Yeah, actually Miracle still has only 1 point into the Astral Imprisonment, since being in a tri-lane you definitely don't get too many levels. But he's gonna go for another Astral Imprisonment. It's gonna end pretty damn fast. They need the Fissure, something to slow him down. Arcane Ball Orbs. Are they actually gonna be enough? One more, he gets it with his last right click. Fissure up onto Jesse Vash. Just the early point into Arcane Orb doing so much damage for Miracle.
Yeah, I really like this build, as now they go with the slow onto the Skywrath Mage. Centaur ultimate forced out to try to keep him safe. Unfortunately, they didn't have that to help the Razor out. But yeah, I really do like this build coming out from Miracle here. As a safe lane OD, you're not getting as many levels as your mid counterpart. And the orb wouldn't come out fast enough if you went for the maxed Astral. So yeah, I like the maxed Essence Aura, especially with the supporting cast he has around him, that are going to be spamming out their spells pretty liberally, and will want to do so.
Yeah, especially since Shadow Wave is actually being maxed out from Lobby as well, so once he gets it to level 4, it's going to be only a 6-second cooldown on the heal, and he will definitely be able to cast enough of it to get at least one proc of Essence Aura going. And Miracle is going for a Rod of Athos as well. He even went for double Null Talisman, just the early cost-effective items, and so far at the very least, it's working out wonders. I mean, he's level 1 in net worth and doesn't show any signs of stopping.
Yeah, I love it. Miracle doesn't need to go for the BKB because he has the Omni Knight behind him, and he can just hit so darn hard. with the extra int that he's getting from his item choices. And there's so much support. Like, he's behind the enemy tier 2 tower, and they can't do anything to him. With Purify, as well as the Dazzle heal, they're just looking for as much trades as they can get going. In the tier 1 tower down in bottom, but they're going up top. They get one orb the way of the Skywrath Mage, but that's about it, as they're not able to lock anybody down. But Miracle just doesn't have a care in the world.
Yeah, and they're going for the tier 2, whereas at the same time tier 1 will be taken out from Mineski. If Mineski really wanted to actually... They smoke, but Checo breaks his own immediately and smoke under creeps. It's rather a weird thing for them to do, to be honest. Miracle gets his secondary Staff of Wizardry. Oh, the slow, the repel is there. Can he get the Astral Imprisonment onto anybody? Will he even try? The Fissure is there. But what Miracle? He turned around. Stampede comes out as well. KS, he's on the run. He's silenced up. Can he get his Guardian Angel off? Oh man, the stomp. The double edge to follow up. They get 2 down. The healers are down. Miracle gonna fall now as well. 3 heroes. Can they get the 4th one as well? The Arcane Bolts are following Kai. He has the Fissure. He's gonna use it as well. I'm not too sure if it's actually gonna be enough. Plasma Field. Holy crap. Mineski, that fight for them.
It's kind of how they need to start those fights. If they get a kill on the Omni Knight or the Dazzle, that makes it so much easier to go on the OD, and without his supporting cast, he does care quite a bit about all of the damage coming out from them. Dafa might get caught out here. They don't have a way to burst the gap, but now the concussive shot comes out. It will slow him down, and the Cryptstorm are landing. Arcane Bolts, I think Dafa's going to die, and effectively making this a full 5-man wipe as Jacko, oh, he misses the last Cryptstorm Purification. Never mind. But yeah, it's unfortunate that Omni Knight wasn't able to get off his Guardian Angel in that last fight, because that would have saved pretty much everybody, but the cast time just too long.
Yeah, and I mean, just they ran into the center as well, pretty much. Just ran into the double edge completely there. So really good fight for Mineski, although first parser they are still ahead in every way, I think, more or less. Hand of Midas has been running on Doom, even has a blink dagger now for himself. And KS, he does have the point booster, so it looks like he is still just straight out gonna rush himself that Aghanim Scepter. Miracle will have his Rod of Athos finished as well if he just wants to pick it up. And actually, yeah, just Vitality Booster brought out to him. Although still, nobody is going for mech on their lineup, which is a little bit sad.
Yeah, I don't like it. I would have liked to see the Omni Knight go for it. I think the Aghanim Scepter is going to come out a little too late, and I think the utility for mech would have been very useful. Especially if you want your Doom to have his Midas available. Yeah, I think if you're going to get the Ags on your Omni Knight after the Midas on the Doom, just pick up a Mechanism before your Blink.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with you there, and if not the Omni Knight, at least somebody go for the mech. Although Kai actually is pretty damn close to his own Blink Dagger now on the Earthshaker lobby. Picks himself up an Urn of Shadows as well, which will help a little bit with just the sustain. Not quite as good as a mech, of course, especially since mech activating it also gives you some extra armor plus some armor on the mech carrier himself, helping out against the physical damage of both the Death Prophet and the Razor. So, man, I just don't know. Maybe they're going for a late one onto the Dazzle or something.
Yeah. Well, as far as it goes now, the supporting cast is behind the OD, and this is just kind of K5 as well as the Dazzle's life, played by Lubby. They sit behind the OD, offer him repel as well as the heals to keep him on the front lines. If they're able to get the jump onto them, onto KS or onto Lubby, it's going to be very easy for them to get the kill on the OD. They're going to jump up on top, however, as the Doom is going to be spent onto Jacko. I think he's going to tick down from this, actually, if they don't have a heal. There's the Mechanism, so he's going to be fine once the Razor rotates in. But the tier 2 tower is going to be pushed down by first departures, so Doom, I suppose, space created. Centaur's waiting in the wings. If he's able to jump onto Lubby and KS, that could be perfect for them. Or maybe if he just gets it on a Miracle. He doesn't have the supporting cast right now to go for it, but here we go as the jumping goes onto Kai instead with Scarlet Mage ulti. The defensive Astral is going to save him for a little bit longer, but with the silence, Guardian Angel, Earthshaker's just fine. They have too much sustain, and now Jacko caught out in a very awkward situation. Now the Fissure at OD ultimate committed to get that kill. Tier 2 tower not looking too healthy as the repel on a Miracle. He just doesn't care. He runs straight in towards the Razor. There's no link going his way either, and he's dropped down to half, completely zoned off of the tower. Now the tier 2 is not going to look very healthy at all, as it's probably just going to be straight up taken.
Yeah, and it actually, Sanity's Eclipse got stolen by Rubik. Can actually do a reasonable amount with it. It is level 1 and Rubik's own intelligence is kind of lackluster, but up against a Doombringer, for example, it can still do a small amount at the very least. But
it does like 90 damage to the Earthshaker, and that's about it. It's quite possibly one of the most anticlimactic ultimate spells to steal as a Rubik, unless you're completely stacked.
You can mana drain, man. You can mana drain.
Yeah, you kind of have to steal Astral first, like, not even joking. And Astral's only level 1. So, yeah. It might be flashy to look at, but it's going to do very little damage. Yeah, the mana drain's going to be more important if he's able to get that off on the Earthshaker, I feel.
And well, speaking of the Earthshaker, after that last fight, the tower, he has his Blink Dagger finished. Doombringer has another 1.9k gold in the bank and just start going for any next big item he really wants to. And they're just going for the next tier 2. They're like, yeah, there's no way you can fight us, Mineski. We're just gonna come at your base and you can do nothing.
They are pushing out the tier 2 tower in mid lane, although Razor with just a mechanism doesn't push that fast. If they leave this unchecked, they might lose it. I don't know. They should be able to get this tier 2 tower in bottom and then defend, but they'll sustain about half damage towards this T2 mid.
And this tower looks like it will go down rather easy. As, of course, first departure being there as 5 people, it should go down pretty damn fast. At least definitely faster than Chauvin can push down the tier 2 mid solo. And actually, it's taking way longer than I even expected.
Yeah, Doom, he doesn't have the Wolf Creep aura, which is nice when he has the Blink to get the War Stomp, but pretty much as expected, Glyph forced out by both sides, and then tier 2 tower in mid dropped to about half. They're going for the tier 1 tower up in top with the Exorcism. They jump in with Kai with the Blink Dagger Fissure. It's not going to land on anything, and now the Doom goes away to the Razor Center. Ultimate, however, will keep him just fine. And a lot of spells being exchanged for very little, but space created, I suppose, is Roshan's going down to first departure, and I'm not sure that Mineski know this is happening. Miracle with his maxed out orb is going to put a lot of hurt to Roshan, and I think they'll be able to get this before they actually jump in.
Yeah, some pings come out, but a little bit too late, although Dafa, no, he gets the blink into the trees, or rather, just back to the lane, or back towards the bottom side of the lane. So Age is now into the pockets of Miracle. He already has an ultimate orb as well. Looks like going for a straight out hex on him. I guess Link and Sphere is a small possibility, but I really think it's rather a hex.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think there's really purpose in going for defensive items when you have the repel and no diffuse blade. Oh, the Death Prophet up in top. Just blink, absolutely dunked by Dafa as well as by Kai there. Yeah. Miracle pushing out very confidently in mid with the Omni Knight backing him up. And they also get a really good pick off. This is a pretty big opening for first departure to use.
Oh, Miracle, what? Second ultimate orb. He's going for Eye of Skadi on OD. Is this real? Am I dreaming?
I don't know. I don't like it, but it's gonna give him some really good stats and chase them down, I suppose, alternating orbs. I don't know.
Why would you want any other orb than your Arcane Orb? It's one of the sickest attack modifiers.
I think so as well. Maybe if there's like a BKB coming out from the Death Prophet, then it's okay, because you can slow her down, I suppose. I don't know. It's yeah.
Yeah, it feels like just because I can.
That is kind of the mentality. It's a really cost-effective stat item, but that's all it's going to be for Miracle. Honestly, I would have liked to see Casual Mystic stats better. Yeah,
it's like, go for anything like Shiva's card, Sheep. Like Casual Mystic Staff, just stack them up in your inventory like no other.
I mean, if you're going for just stats, I think that's a better choice. Honestly, Scythe, I think, is your best item here. Or Shiva's.
I mean, just... The Hex is such a great item. Gives you both a little bit of tank and top lane. Chaco might be in trouble. KS has a haste rune. Actually not going to follow up anymore because they see other heroes coming. Miracle slowed down. They used to repel. Are they really going to turn it around? Miracle, he wants to do so, but Stampede gets everybody to safety. Or does it repel? Still active. Static Link activated. Oh, the Fissure stops everything. Miracle, he has the Sanity Eclipse. It's level 2 as well. Play hard. He packs himself into a corner. Dafa comes in, gets the Tomb up onto the Razor, who already has his ultimate. The Exorcism is actually there as well. He gets Telekinesis up, and Dafa, is he going to go down Shallow Grave? Yes, it comes out, and Sanity's Eclipse completely blows up the Death Prophet. And now, I don't think Chauvin, actually, he should be fine. Can anybody chase him down? The Blink coming out, they get the slow, level def, 2 right clicks, and Miracle, triple kill for him.
There's nothing they can do about this OD on a 5-on-5 engagement. Skywrath Mage ripped to shreds, they got like 3-shotted by Miracle, and now the last tier 2 tower standing on their side is not going to be standing for much longer, with only 330 HP, now just completely ripped to shreds.
Yeah, and with this actually, KS has his Aghanim Scepter finished up on the Omni Knight. And I really don't see any reason for them to stop the push here, really.
Yeah, neither do I. They're going to have their completed Scotty on their Outworld Devourer. They're going to have an Ags on their Omni Knight, and I don't know. The big items that I didn't think were big items are going to go as they jump on a Play Hard. Play Hard, soloed up almost by Dafa. The Fissure comes through, and they just need a little bit more damage. They pull back Dafa into the Mystic Flare, and Dafa's actually overextended himself a little bit and will be brought down. Interesting that there was no help there. I would have thought they would have gone for that. There's an Atos still under the Razor. They have plenty of heals to keep this Outworld Devourer alive. Echo Slam lands only onto Jacko as well as Jesse Bass, but it's enough to delay things. I don't know, defensive Echo Slam as they jump in with the Centaur. He gets a double of stump before dying, and now they pretty much overcommit themselves. This Outworld Devourer just doing too much damage, and if they're able to get the uptime onto Jacko as well as play hard, they're going to be in a bit of trouble. As with the repel, Miracle just doesn't care. He's going straight into the enemy base. 1, 2... and he'll need 3 and 4 if he wants to kill Jacko, but with the Atos slow, it looks like he's going to be able to get them, and there you go. Now play hard. He's going to die. The heals are coming out to Miracle. The shallow grave, they just can't kill him. Purify comes his way, and he just doesn't care. They need to kill this Omni-Knight Dazzle if they want a hope of getting Miracle down. And he also has the Aegis, like, as 15 Magic Wand charges, he could turn on this again, Purify Magic Wand, and just kill them.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's gonna do. Play hard, 3 right clicks, that's all they need. Actually, he gets healed back up. She's still the Purification, but doesn't really matter as Miracle. He was still keeping on with the chase. That guy is just a machine.
Yeah, he has the Scotty. I haven't seen the slow at all. There's the first slow I saw on that catapult, but yeah. Oh my goodness, they blow up the Dazzle, and that's a great way of making... Oh my goodness, Miracle is a little bit more susceptible, but with Repel and Aegis, he just doesn't care. Jacko is going to be brought down. They weren't able to heal him up, and now on the backline, Centaur jumps in. He stuns up Miracle, but he needs to get out of there. Repel goes away of Miracle, and now Centaur, he just kind of stops. Will he be able to disjoint that auto attack? He will, with the Repel onto the Razor. He'll be a little bit more tanky, but I don't know, the slow coming out from Scotty as they jump in with the Doom as well as the Earthshaker. They clean up the Centaur, and now Razor not looking too healthy as one more swipe of that Arcane Bolt, or Arcane Orb rather, from Miracle brings it down. That's GG.
Man, first departure is playing so damn well. They're gonna get play hard as well, using the Eye of Scotty Orb for a little while, but man, just GG well played from first departure overall. First game was a little bit shaky, but this game they just left nothing to the imagination. They just straight out won. The start was just kind of shaky, gave away a couple kills too many, but they bounced back pretty fast.
Yeah, and well, I wasn't personally expecting First Departure to take this 2-0. I was expecting more a 1-for-1. But yeah, that game 2 looked really convincing coming out from them, and possibly just a confidence boost, but a peculiar draft that made that OD amazing.
Yeah, and guys, this is gonna be it for this 2-game series. First Departure take this 2-0. But we're gonna have more Dota actually coming up. It's gonna be Balkan Bears Corleone versus Team Trials at 17 CEST, as in 40 minutes time just about. And in the meantime, you can check out HeflaTV 1. It's gonna have Screen Squad versus Hehe, unless it got forfeit and just something like that. But it should be on HeflaTV 1, so you can check that out as well. And of course, you can always follow us for more Dota on this channel, as well as HeflaTV 1 and HeflaMoke. And check out our social media to just get any kind of news from us. It's HeflaTV on both Facebook and Twitter, and the votes uploaded to YouTube, which is youtube.com/HeflaMoke. And if you like the casters, it's @Coucher on me for Twitter, @GrandisV on both Twitter as well as Twitch for my co-caster. And all in all, Grandis, thanks for casting with me. And guys, just see you in the next series.